Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I have like an emergency video for you. So usually I film my videos a few weeks in advance, but this one I'm actually shuffling to the front of the pack because I've been getting so many messages and so many having so many conversations and physically experiencing myself that so many people out there are feeling completely and utterly wiped out right now, like just totally exhausted, or they're having like really strange things happen in their body. For instance, feeling, like I say, really, really exhausted, really, really tired, even though you're sleeping a lot, or feeling kind of lightheaded and dizzy, or feeling nauseous, feeling like your body's purging like a little bit, or yeah, just any of these kind of like physical symptoms, headaches, lots of really like headaches, nosebleeds, just these odd physical sensations that are happening. And at the same time, you may be noticing that there's things in your reality that are shifting, right? That you are experiencing deeper levels of negative emotion, that you are experiencing deeper awareness of woundings that are going on inside of yourself, that you are experiencing major shifts in your external reality or in your internal reality. And because of this, you're also feeling like, along with this, you're feeling completely exhausted. And even if you're not experiencing kind of like any external or internal changes, you might just be feeling this exhaustion. And I wanted to make this video and put it out right away because obviously this is timely, right? We are currently at a place where a lot of people are experiencing this right now. This exhaustion, this tiredness, this fatigue, also nervous system issues, right? Pinched nerves, like we kind of talked about in the frying out, taking care of your vessel videos. The pinched nerves, or just muscles being tight and sore, just all these kind of like odd things that don't really seem to have any correlation to what you've been doing in your life. And this is happening right now for a reason. This is definitely happening right now for a reason. And also, the cool thing is that because time is circular, because time works in a loop, no matter when you watch this video, like literally even if you watch this video like 4 years from now, this is probably going to be like happening to you, and you will be watching this video at the exact right time, and even the things that I'm going to say that are an explanation for why this is happening will probably still be happening in this like future dimension, because that's how this cool time works. And so it is timely for right now, but also it'll probably be timely for any time you're watching this, even if it's nowhere near the date of when I published it, okay? Because we as a human consciousness grow in cycles and we evolve in cycles, and so this is going to happen again. This has happened before. So if you are experiencing this fatigue, right, if you are experiencing, like I say, essentially these weird physical symptoms that you don't really know what's going on, or you are experiencing a fatigue that doesn't match what's going on in your life, of course I'm going to just be responsible and say, do check yourself out, right? Like check in with yourself and make sure there's not like nutrient deficiencies going on. Make sure you are still, you know, drinking enough water and eating nutritious foods, and you are sleeping responsibly if you can. Of course, check in with yourself. Make sure that this is not just something that you're neglecting yourself, right? But if that doesn't resonate with you, which for a lot of us it doesn't, we need to understand, okay, how human evolution happens and why it looks the way that it does in order to understand this fatigue and what to do about it, all right? So the first thing that you need to understand, right, is that when we are growing as spiritual people, when we are growing as conscious people, when we are expanding, when we are shifting, when we are integrating, right, which is essentially what I would call all of it, right? We are coming closer into alignment with ourselves, with God, with all that is. And we are allowing ourselves to release and relax resistance to ourselves, to the world, to what is, to the fall, to all of these things, to right where consciousness is at right now, the role that we're playing, who we truly are. We're essentially slowly relaxing and releasing resistance to what happened to us, to who we are, so that we can integrate and accept all the information that those aspects of ourselves contain and that those experiences contain. All right? So this is what waking up is, right? It is simply an integration. We are just integrating. We are fragmented, we are separated, we are in resistance, and it is this resistance that causes us all of our suffering. So when we are growing and learning and changing on a spiritual path, we are integrating, all right? And what this means, all right, is that we are taking ourselves, right? And we've talked about this before in other videos, that we all stepped into density, right? So we have a physical body that's physically dense. We are, right? We stepped into a physical reality that is dense. And we understand that density in itself is not good or bad. It is simply a version of expression, right? That we can express with no density and be just spirit, and we can express as a lot of density and be very physical. And neither of those two things are good or bad, right or wrong, higher or lower. Those are just two different versions of expression, right? So we come into the human body, we come into the physical 3D reality, and we express through density. And at the same time, we take on a low vibration, right? We all take on areas and aspects of resistance, right? We are not allowing the life force energy, the truth of who we are, the truth of the world, love, whatever you want to call it, to flow through aspects of ourselves, nor are we are not allowing ourselves to have that life force energy flow through an experience that we have had in the density, right? And this creates resistance. And in this resistance, we create for ourselves suffering, right? Because then we are not accepting information, right? And ultimately, what feels good is the acceptance of information. And ultimately, what feels bad is the resistance to information. So on this human journey, we all take on these low vibrations, right? And these low vibrations are simply areas of ourselves and our life, which are all the same thing, that we are not accepting information, right? That we have rejected, and we said, no, that's not wrong, or that is wrong, that is not a part of this, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to be that, I don't want to have that, I don't want to be in that experience. And this creates a low, dense vibration, right? And as we start to awaken to these things, right? We start to say, okay, no, I'm not going to reject this stuff anymore. I'm going to stop being in resistance to myself and to the world and my experiences. I'm going to bring more love, bring more compassion, bring more understanding, slowly and gently release and relax my resistance to these things. More information flows through, right? So we literally are shifting our vibration, right? We are shifting our vibration from a low frequency, slow vibration, low amount of energy, to high frequency, right? Higher levels of frequency, more energy, more information flowing through, right? This is what's happening when you're awakening. This is what's happening when you're integrating. You are accepting more life force energy into yourself, into your being, into your life. All of these areas are all going to be affected equally because they're all one thing. It's all just a big reflection of itself, right? And so we are shifting our frequency. We are raising our frequency. And so you might be saying, that doesn't make sense, Ellie. Why would I be exhausted if I'm raising my energy, right? Wouldn't that make me more energetic? And I'm saying, okay, yes, right? That's an excellent question. And we need to understand a little bit more in order to understand why we feel exhausted when we raise our frequency, okay? So right now on the planet, a lot of us are being initiated into deep integrative experiences that we have not been having for a while, okay? So right now on the planet, there are a lot of us, okay? The way that the energies of the planet are working right now, the way that Mother Earth is shifting, the way that all the planets are shifting, right? We are being very, very, very heavily supported in a large frequency upgrade, okay? That's what I want you to know right now. The reason that you may be looking at your life and like I say, you may be one of these people who physically has changed your life massively. Like maybe you just moved to a whole new country, or maybe you just left a job or left a relationship and started a new one, and like there was a physical big shift in your life, okay? Or perhaps you made a big shift with your body, or perhaps you felt, and I'll talk about this a little bit, your body shifted majorly on its own, and now you're trying to kind of clamor to catch up. you may be in a really kind of high stress situation that's showing you a lot of things about yourself that you weren't aware of before, right? And you're having a lot of emotions, and you're seeing maybe even patterns and patterns of self-destruction and patterns of pain and things, addictions that you have been struggling with for years and years and years and years and years, and now all of a sudden you're starting to understand them a lot more, and you're seeing where they're coming from, and you're able to see them in a new light, and you're able to like I say, do this maybe self-love, self-mastery, emotional mastery work in these areas that you never were able to do before. And so you're noticing these major shifts, right? That you are stepping closer into alignment with who you are, right? Your outer world is reflecting that, your inner world is reflecting it, you're having all this turmoil, all of these things are coming up, the foundations of your life are being shaken, either within or without or both, and due to this, you're feeling completely exhausted. And like I say, it might feel a little bit like this is happening to you, right? And so the first thing I want you to understand is that this is not happening to you, okay? This is happening to all of us, and it is happening to us because we called it in, all right? It would not be happening to you if you were not ready. It would not be happening to you if it were not a part of your plan. It would not be happening. These shifts are not happening to absolutely everyone, okay? These awakenings are not necessarily happening to everyone. These shakings are definitely happening, but there are a lot of people who are not doing it, right? Who are not taking it, and who are in resistance to the universe shaking them up, and these frequency upgrades that are happening, right? But there are a lot of us who are not in resistance, and we are taking it on, and we are doing it, and this is what's causing this complete fluctuation, okay? So the first thing you need to understand is that what's happening is the universe is supporting you, your higher self is supporting you, everything in the earth is supporting a frequency upgrade, okay? Meaning more energy flows to these areas that have been cut off to life force energy before. So you are having deeper realizations about yourself, you are having experiences that are opening your mind, you're being shaken up by life, you have shaken your life up, your body is physically changing, all of these things are going on, okay? Because that low vibration that you have been at, maybe for your entire life, is being shifted, right? You are integrating these darker aspects that are not really dark and that are not really broken, that are not really bad, you're integrating, right? And so as this happens, because we are expressed in a physical dense form, okay, we cannot make a frequency jump like this and just be in the new place, all right? So this is why you get exhausted, okay? Because you are absolutely a vibrational being. You are a multi-dimensional, expressing on all different levels of reality being, all right? And there's all these higher frequency aspects of your being that are, okay, so let's say there's all these less dense versions of yourself, and that are existing and are a part of your experience right now that can make that shift, right? That can make a vibrational shift and essentially integrate it pretty quickly and be there, right? But because there is this absolute aspect of you that is living and experiencing a physical, dense reality, there has to be an integration of the integration time, all right? And that is why you're exhausted. Okay, so every single time you have a frequency shift, right? Every single time you have a frequency shift, essentially every single time you release resistance, invite more integration, more energy, you take a lower vibration and you allow more energy to flow to it so it becomes higher, right? And you start to be able to maintain that higher vibration. You have changed the way that you express here, right? You literally have shifted to a different dimension. You've shifted to a new way of being. You have shifted your reality, and the reality that's going to be expressed and reflected back to you through this frequency upgrade, all right? And with that, your physical reality has to come with you. But the physical reality is dense and needs more time in order to shift. And now, I don't want to put this out there as a limiting belief, right? That every single time you have a frequency upgrade, your body's going to go down and that you're going to need time to integrate it. I do fully believe that at the same time, we are integrating our physical bodies to be more in alignment with the light body, okay? So I don't think this is going to be how it is forever, right? I do believe that we are going to get to a place where we will be able to have frequency upgrades that our bodies will be able to align with and be attuned with much faster, without the fatigue and without the rest and without the kind of the lag time, okay? Because we are moving through fourth dimensional consciousness where time is going to start to be very warpy and time is going to start to not work the way that we usually think it does. And so we're not going to need time so much to integrate physically what is happening to us on all these other multi-dimensional levels of ourselves. However, currently speaking, we do, okay? So when your body gets exhausted, I want you to understand that you've had a frequency upgrade. And you can probably look at your life and see that, right? You can look around and say, yeah, no, I see myself in a different way. I see my world in a different way. I've been having revelations. I've changed where I live. I've done all these things. Some things have changed, right? I am different. I am not who I used to be. I've lost touch with this old person and these old coping mechanisms that I used to have. And I've lost touch with these old ways of living that I used to do, and these old comforts and these old things that used to work no longer work, and I can't go back and I can't be that old person anymore. But I'm not fully who I know I'm stepping into yet, right? I'm not fully the new person. I haven't fully made the transition over to where I'm going. So I'm kind of in this middle place and I'm exhausted, okay? And I want you to understand that so long as you resist this exhaustion and you don't let yourself rest and you don't let yourself integrate what's happened by literally like laying down or sitting and just staring out into space for a few hours or an hour or at least a little bit of time every single day, you will get stuck in this middle place, okay? Because in order to fully integrate this frequency adjustment that's happened, you need to allow all of yourself to catch up. You need to allow all of the information that that frequency upgrade had for you to ground itself into your being. You need to allow all of yourself to match this new frequency that these kind of individual aspects of yourself have raised to, right? And that's what the rest period is. And so I have seen light workers and myself, right, including myself, who have like really like been on this path and been like, okay, I'm gonna like do all this stuff and I'm gonna open my consciousness and I'm gonna like really shift and I'm gonna do all, like I'm gonna move and I'm gonna do a 40-day sadhana and I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna blah, 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 and we do all these things and we have all these realizations, blah, 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 but we don't let ourselves rest, okay? And then we stay in this weird place where we feel like we can't be the old person, but we can't be the new person, right? We're not really who we know ourselves to be yet. And we have this whole like, yeah, just like this big struggle with being able to actually integrate and fully become the person that we know that we are now with these new awarenesses and these new experiences and all this stuff. And that is because we're not letting ourselves rest. We're not letting the density catch up to the new vibration. So I want you to understand that if you are feeling exhausted, you must let yourself rest. And that this is an integration where you're letting these denser aspects of yourself catch up to the new vibration. And the more you let yourself rest, the more you let yourself integrate, the more you let yourself just sit and integrate in the sense of like you're not even doing anything. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to like try and figure out who this new person is or what this all means or blah, 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 blah. Because the more you rest, the more you relax, the more you just allow yourself to be in this new frequency, okay, it's all going to be revealed to you. You're going to see who you are. You're going to see the truth. You're going to know how to be the new person. That's how this is going to happen. Your physical body will change. Your physical environment will change. The things that you are calling into your life will change because they will all have to match this new frequency. But the thing is, you want your entire being to integrate this new frequency upgrade. You don't just want aspects of yourself to be in this higher vibration and have these other aspects of yourself stay in the low vibration. That's what makes us feel weird, right? Is when we are not a cohesive vibration. So let yourself rest. You've had a frequency upgrade. The universe is supporting it. It's going to happen to you a million times throughout your life. You need to allow the denser aspects of yourself to catch up. Okay? And these denser aspects are going to become less and less dense. So the time that it takes to integrate is going to become less and less. But for now, honor the time it takes. However long it takes, however long you need to rest, rest. because that is the denser aspects rising to the new frequency. Okay, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Join Patreon down below. If you have any questions, comments,